Hey guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a short lesson on writing today. So what you've been working so hard to do is reading a bunch of informational or nonfiction texts about your animal that you chose. You read this information, you researched certain topics, and then you took notes about that important information. And we focused on certain categories such as diet and habitat. And what we're going to begin doing this week is we're actually going to be composing your actual writing. We're going to be using rough drafts, so this is not a final draft whatsoever, but we're going to focus on writing cohesive sentences, sentences that make sense, that we use proper grammar and punctuation and capital letters. I do want to emphasize with you guys that this is something you're going to need to know how to do in fourth grade. In fourth grade, when you come in, and we had this meeting with the fourth grade teachers where they told us that when you guys walk in day one in fourth grade, they want you to definitely be able to write one paragraph that makes sense, but ideally a couple of paragraphs. So now that third grade's aware of this, we are going to be working in the last few weeks on making you guys better writers, and that's something you guys can work over the summer. So today, we're going to work on two things, but the one thing I'm really going to focus on is writing a hook. Now, a hook is a way to engage your readers, to catch them. So we're going to be talking about the different ways to write a hook, and we have talked about this in class, but we're going to be talking about it in a nonfiction way. And then you guys are going to be writing your own hook today, as well as an introductory paragraph for your paper that you will be writing. Now, I've had some people ask me questions about this project, and this is going to be like the timeline project where you guys might make a poster. It's not going to be like that. At the end, I'm going to give you the opportunity if you want to be creative with a presentation. However, this project is to work solely on your writing. This is a research paper, and so we're learning how to write in multiple paragraphs. So with that being said, let's talk about hooks, how you can engage your readers. So I have a fun little meme that I wanted to start with you guys, because one does not simply write the first sentence of an essay or a paper or a story, whatever you want to call it. We're very quick to just start writing. I'm writing about elephants, period. It's kind of boring, right? So we want to actually take the time to come up with a good hook. Your hook should not just take you 5 seconds. You should come up with a couple of different ideas and then pick the one you like the best. So we're going to play around with different ways you can do this. Before we start, I want you guys to take a time and I want you to think about when you read a book or a story and after reading about the first or second paragraph, you're like, forget this. And you just gave it up. No way. Why does that usually happen? Why would you usually give up reading a story? Probably because you're bored, right? You're not interested in it. So the same thing is going to happen with your readers, and you're writing a story. You are an author right now. So you need to catch that reader so they are not bored. So they are not, I don't want to keep reading this anymore. So we want to hook them and engage them so they say, oh, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about, or I'm really interested. I want to keep reading. So we're going to talk about the different ways you guys can hook your readers. I have a little anchor chart here for you guys to look at. I'm not obviously in the classroom to give you an anchor chart, but these are just ideas. You don't always have to do these. And I'm not going to read them word for word, so this is a YouTube video. Feel free to pause it at any point to look at it yourself or talk to somebody about it. So one of the ways you can do it is you can start by writing a question, and here are some examples, which, basically you know what a question is. You're getting them to wonder about something. An exclamation, something exciting. An onomatopoeia. It's a fun word. Onomatopoeia. An onomatopoeia is basically a sound that is written. So they have the example here. Kaboom! We all know what that is, right? Kind of an exploding sound. Kaboom! But you wouldn't just say an exploding sound. It's way more fun to say kaboom, or crash, or bang. Any of that. And since we're doing an animal project, maybe it's an animal sound. A mystery statement. Something that just gets them really wondering what's happening, curious. Humorous statement. Maybe you're going to start with something funny. Maybe there's a joke. I don't know. An idiom. An idiom is a sentence that really makes no sense whatsoever unless you've heard it before, such as, it's raining cats and dogs. Okay? Well, there's not really cats and dogs raining from the sky. It really makes no sense to call rain cats and dogs, but we know that means it's storming. So maybe you start with an idiom. an exaggeration, something that you're just talking that is not really a true statement. You're just going over the top with it. You may just start with a fact, okay? Or maybe a quote. Maybe someone has a quote about your animal, okay? Maybe a famous person does, I don't know. So these are ideas. Feel free to come back to this at any point. I'm only going to focus on 3 different ways to do a hook, but this does not mean this has to be the way you are doing your hook. These are the 3 that I think are going to be the easiest to transition to and might be the easiest to practice with your topic. So the first one we're going to talk about is starting your writing with a question. So I told you guys I was doing elephants or African elephant. So here's an example. Maybe I would start my writing with, how would you react if you came across an animal that was twice as big as you? So I try to come up with a question that my reader would be, oh, wow. First off, I wonder what animal they're talking about that's twice as big as me. I want to keep reading to find out. And then it gets them to think, oh my gosh, twice as big as me. That's huge. So I'm kind of trying to get them wondering about what's going on with my question. Exclamation, something exciting. You're about to learn about the largest land animal on the planet. So I get them excited about this. Oh man, I'm not just learning about some tiny little thing. I'm going to learn about something huge. Okay? And obviously yours is going to be different because you're doing a different animal. So maybe there's something exciting you can catch your reader on. And the last one that we're going to talk about, an onomatopoeia, that funny sound. So here's mine. Pawoo! You hear this loud sound and you turn your head to see what on earth could make that sound. So that was my way of doing an elephant sound. Pawoo! And I wasn't quite sure how to do that, so I kind of Googled it, like onomatopoeia for elephant. But I mean, I guess that's probably the best way to describe an elephant sound. So that's kind of like, oh wow, what would make a poo sound? Again, just getting my reader to want to read more. So that's what you're going to be doing today. You don't have to pick one of these 3, but basically what you're doing is you're just coming up with a sentence to really hook, to grab the reader's attention and make them want to keep reading. We don't want it to be a boring sentence. I am researching a tarantula. Okay. I mean, you're telling me the topic, that's good, but we really want to hook them. So I suggest come up with a few different hooks and present it to someone at home and say, hey guys, which one do you like the most? Get some feedback, right? Ask a sibling or a parent or a grandma or an aunt and ask them, I wrote these 3 hooks. Which one do you guys like best? And take maybe a little survey. Maybe if there's 5 people at your house, ask all 5. Take a tally chart. See which one has the most votes. I would go with that. Make it fun, okay? And then after you're done writing your hook today, which there is a graphic organizer, and I will show you that in a second, you're going to compose your introduction. I know I'm talking for a long time, but stick with me. So remember, we're just going to be hooking our readers and getting their attention. So I'm going to show you what your graphic organizer is going to be looking like today. And this is in the Google Classroom. Remember, you're going to click on it. It's under research. If you don't see this today, it's because you haven't done the previous stuff. But if you're watching the video, you probably have. So here you're going to be typing your hook. The graphic organizer says an interesting fact or surprising question. You could do any of those other things we talked about, though. Go back to the anchor chart if you want. I'm going to see if I can include that in the assignment as well. And then here is your body. This is basically that introduction paragraph. So when we write this, your hook is actually going to be part of this paragraph, but you don't need to worry about that for now. This is going to be your introductory sentence, your hook that's going to get them excited. And then right here, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be telling the reader what animal it's about. So go ahead and start talking about the animal you picked and why you picked them. There's got to be a reason, guys. What's interesting about it? What hooked you to want to research it? So just give me a little overview of it. This whole thing, maybe 3 sentences, I would say. And then your hook is obviously going to be 1 sentence. So I'll add that detail here for you guys. That is going to be 1 sentence here. And then at the bottom, we want to have this to be about, I would say 3 to 4 sentences. Is probably a goal. All right, guys, I'm going to set you off on this. If you need anything, feel free to shoot me an email. That'd be the quickest way to get a hold of me. All right. Remember, this is also not the final draft, so we can go back and make tweaks. I am going to give you feedback. So every person will have something that I'm telling you you're doing well and something that you can improve on. You're going to get a grow and you're going to get a glow. So we will have that feedback. We'll take it to become better writers for 4th grade.